Alright guys, so back with another episode of iAnimate tutorials. Episode 2! Yeah! Woo! And again, as always, I am helping you, that's right, you, the animator at home, on how to make your game animation stand out even further on your demo reel by utilizing the camera. On this episode, I thought it would be really cool to take a step back and talk about bosses. No, not the ones you work for, the cooler ones. Level bosses, game bosses. And what's more awesomer than fighting a boss but an epic boss intro? Boss fights have been around since the beginning of video games, whether it be jumping over the King Koopa to hit that axe or saving our fair princess from a giant crazed monkey. Every level ends with a bang, so should the game itself. Final bosses and bosses are memorable in that sense. So what better to make an actual boss presence? Showmanship, building up your character, anticipating the challenge by making an epic intro. Suppose you get assigned a project like that. Of course, the animation is considered into account to make it feel big. But what if I told you that the camera can also plus that shot and make it even more bigger? Bigger, badder, better, butter. We want that butter. So I'm gonna take a look and show you an example of how we can use our camera language to help increase that epic entrance. So right now you're probably thinking, Brad, easy as this. Put two characters in a scene, scale one up, call it a day. Wait, don't you go nowhere. This series is here to help plus and enhance what you already have. So stick with me.
So jumping right into it, Lisa and Brick are both in the scene together. I'm adjusting my camera, normally to the right of Lisa. Important to me to stage this dynamically in order to get that big feel. So just like our first lesson, I'm decreasing the focal length. I'm going to decrease the focal length fairly around 28, which is widening our lens. But instead of pushing the camera forward, I'm moving it back. I'm adjusting the focal length fairly about 3 frames. Also, tilting the camera up so I can get more of a clear shot of Brick. Like Brick, who's supposed to be big and almighty, the camera won't move as fast, almost work parallel with Brick in his speed and in his movement. Now, as my camera is going, I'm starting to look at my 2 players in my shot. Breaking it down by the rule of thirds, I need to position my characters to an interest point, indicated by these yellow dots. So I start to adjust my camera accordingly, making sure they're both at an interest point as I'm continuing this camera animation. Simple and to the point. That's just one method of making Brick feel big while following Lisa on her way back. Another option, what I'd like to do, is position the camera straight behind Lisa in the middle and pedestaling from bottom to top. This is usually called the obstacle shot. You've seen it on a lot of highlight movie posters. This is a good indication of the challenges right in front of our hero. For this shot, I'm going to be raising the focal length up a bit into a telephoto, and then slowly decreasing into a wide angle. But by utilizing the camera, we can give it a nice tilt, working up Lisa's back and ending on the profile of Brick. So not just a tilt, I'm also going to add a pedestal effect to the camera that's going to be raising up in TY across Lisa's shoulders. This gives a striking reveal of the opponent that she's about ready to face. And another little trick that I like to help out is actually taking the world control of Lisa and translating that down in TY. This helps her exit the frame more smoothly and also keeps our attention focused on Brick. Play blasting in real time reveals the size, mass, and obstacle Lisa's about to fight. Now for this last trick, I'm going to take the camera and move it from another perspective, which is Brick. This way we'll utilize the camera on an over-the-shoulder shot of Brick looking down at Lisa. A cool trick that I do use to save some time is actually parent constraining the camera to the cog of Brick. This will allow the camera to follow Brick as he's standing up, towering over Lisa. I'm also adding a few blocks around the scene just to help show the perspective and the distance between Brick and Lisa. And paying attention to my rule of thirds as well. It's hard to determine, but I'm fairly placing Lisa around where the sweet spot is. All the more while being very careful about how I'm positioning Brick and where the outline of his silhouette is covering the screen. It's important to remember that however long the animation takes for the character is how long the camera should move with him. It's a distinct connection between character and camera that really brings out the effect that the viewers and the players will understand. Slow and steady, but makes great use of the wide-angle lens. A small transition that we don't really notice but we feel.
By controlling the camera around your characters, you can make an epic moment that resides with the players. We as gamers want those moments in a video game, whether it be in an epic boss fight, the opening of a chapter, the beginning of a new story. We want to remember and cherish those moments. And that's a wrap for episode 2 on camera plussing. We still got 4 more secrets to go, and I can't wait to get there. Like always, peoples, I'm Brad Faucheux, Games Workshop 3, and that has been your Anim tip of the day. Take it and go.